Why do PAC contribution regulations keep changing? Imagine trying to keep up with a moving target. That's what campaign fundraisers and political committees face with PAC contribution limits. These rules are always shifting, but why? Well, it all comes down to a mix of legal, economic, and political reasons that shape campaign finance laws. First, court decisions play a big role. Courts interpret the Constitution, especially the First Amendment, which protects free speech and association. They've ruled that contribution limits must strike a balance. They want to prevent corruption but also allow people to support candidates freely. Over time, courts have struck down or adjusted limits that are too low or outdated. For example, limits set decades ago haven't kept up with inflation, making them less effective. When courts find limits unconstitutional or too restrictive, lawmakers have to change the rules. Next, inflation and economic changes push these limits to evolve. Over the years, the value of money changes, so contribution limits are often indexed to inflation. Without adjustments, limits lose their real value, making it harder for candidates to raise enough funds. To keep fundraising fair and effective, regulators periodically increase limits to match current economic conditions. Legislative updates also influence these rules. Congress regularly passes laws to modify contribution limits and campaign finance rules. For instance, the Bipartisan Campaign Reform Act of 2000 increased some limits and included inflation adjustments. These laws respond to new political realities, public concerns, and efforts to improve transparency. Political and campaign strategies are another factor. As fundraising methods change, so do the rules. The rise of super political action committees, small dollar donations, and online fundraising has led to new regulations. Campaigns need to stay current with these changes to comply and maximize their fundraising efforts. Finally, the complexity of different elections and recipient types adds to the changes. Contribution limits differ for primary, general, runoff, and special elections. They also vary depending on whether the money goes to candidates, PACs, or party committees. As new election scenarios emerge, rules must be updated to clarify how much can be given and to whom. So, the reason these regulations keep changing is that they need to stay in step with legal rulings, economic shifts, legislative reforms, and the realities of modern campaigns. Campaigns that keep up with these changes can better navigate the rules and run more effective fundraising efforts.